guess.
All
That's
right,
what you got to do.
Says it might be working. Let me try and search it on YouTube. Well, let's see. The chat's connected, but I don't see us anywhere, of course. Yeah, let's see if we can get it on our phone.
That's what I'm doing too.
Yeah, it says we're live.
Yeah, same here. And it looks like we're both there. So,
yeah, and the comments are coming in and everything. Okay. Woo! Wow, that was frustrating, guys. Sorry about that.
Shite happens. Okay.
Finally got it to work. YouTube made it so much more complicated to just go live instead of scheduling something ahead of time. So, all right. So, yeah, we've got the comments rolling now, and we've got the background going, and I've got Fuego full screen size, or, same size as me at least. So, yeah, finally. Exactly. What's up, Horror Nerd 13? We're doing okay. Yeah, you guys live finally. Sorry, Joe. YouTube just doesn't make it easy right now, so... yeah, we are here. Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
You got Jaime and Fuego here.
And we are here just to have some live stream BS fun. We know there's news to catch up on, but we didn't necessarily want to do that tonight. We just kind of wanted to chill, and I wanted to have a couple drinks and chill and just bullshit a little bit, and then I spent the last 15 minutes wrestling with YouTube, and now I'm all frustrated. So, boo-hoo for me. So, Fuego, how's life treating you over there?
Not too shabby, I suppose. Before the stream, I was going to catch up on some Patreon stuff. We've got some very cool stuff that was recently requested, including Society, which I am one of those people who's never watched that. And then I actually checked out the trailer for that Skinner movie, dude. And I had no idea that it's Ted Raimi and Ricky Lake and Tracy Lords, like a forgotten, apparently controversial slasher from the mid-90s. So there's a couple pretty badass ones that I'm looking forward to getting through at least over the course of the week before Sunday when we do the regular filming. So
I already watched the one that is about the show that's trying to scare people that has something go wrong. What's that one called?
Oh, Scare.
Yeah,
Scare Practice or Scare something.
Oh, God, hang on. Let me look it up real quick because I watched that one already and I did like it.
Yeah, it's an Australian movie, right?
Yeah, Aussies have a good sense for horror, man. They definitely do. Scare Campaign, that's what it is.
That's what it is, yeah. And it's from the same peeps who did 100 Bloody Acres. That was one of the first reviews that you and I ever did on this channel. Or it was either you and me or me and Marsha. Maybe it was me and Marsha.
I did it.
Or Susie. No, it was.
Yeah. Hey, Crystal. Good to see you. Hey, Crystal. We're thinking about doing a live stream for our patrons. Bringing our patrons on either this Sunday or a Sunday soon after. So. Would you be into that? I did post it on the Patreon, so go check it out and give your input because we'd love to have you take part if you're interested. Yeah, Zachary, Scare Campaign was good. I was really happy with it because it was like, it kept doing the twist and turny thing. Like, did you watch the trailer for it, Fuego?
Yes, I did, and that's when I was like, yeah, I have to actually watch this. I put the little box in on our Google spreadsheet. So
yeah, a little peek behind the curtain. I'll show everyone our Google spreadsheet real quick. But yeah, so this is our current Patreon list right here. So these ones are the current ones, and then we have these commentaries to do, which has proven tough because of the the quarantining, but we will be getting to these commentaries soon as well. I'm very excited to do the Color Out of Space commentary with Marsha and Susie. That's going to be fun to get their opinion on that movie as we watch it.
Especially both being parents.
Exactly. So yeah. What's up, Chris Bethel? Good to see you.
Yeah, Chris, what's up, man?
So, guys, one of the other things that we're going to be doing soon. I mean, let's just talk about what we got coming up soon. How about that? Just to
Sweet.
kind of segue into some other stuff. And guys, this is a Q&A session, so if y'all have any questions about anything, hit us up. You know, it doesn't necessarily need to be horror related. This is just a fun BS session. So, Fuego and I are finally going to be sitting down to start the Stephen King tier rankings. We do,
Roll.
yeah. Now you and I, we can still do one more regular horror movie tier ranking franchise because they're the next 20. We have enough watched that we can talk about them. So we will be getting around to that. But I've been preparing the tier list graphic for the Stephen King ranking, and basically he's written so many books at this point that we're going to have to separate it by decade, just episode wise, because otherwise it could be like a 5-hour long tier ranking of all of his books, you know. So
The 80s one could be almost that long in and of itself with as many books as he put out in that damn decade, man. Seriously.
well, that's the thing. Keep in mind, you know, we've done 20 franchises at once, and they usually run about an hour, but there's two of us talking about stuff. So I'm not going to have a terrible amount to say. So hopefully they run about a half hour, something like that. And then I was actually thinking about adding the collections, and then I counted the collections, and there's only like 13 of them. So I think we should do just a separate tier ranking of just the short story collections, rather than including them into the novel ones, because I think the single story novels would be good. And then we'll do a separate ranking of the collections, and then we'll do a separate ranking of the actual Stephen King movies, which I'll be able to have at least some input on. So
Nice, nice. And it's going to be an ever-growing list with each episode, I would imagine, right? At least for the decade novels proper. So, like the S will grow over time, the A's will grow over time.
It'll get longer and longer and longer. I'll have to touch up the graphic every new episode, probably.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I was having a brain fart when you and I were discussing this late one night through the Facebook group chat that we have. And I was like, but I've already ranked them. And you're like, this is different, man. Don't you understand? And as I sat and I thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a master list, but it's like there could be some like the 70s, for instance. That's all like A's and S's pretty much that whole decade. There's really
that's what's going to be really interesting to see how it all ends up. You know, like, oh my God, look, yeah, all A's and S's are from his early stuff. And then, you know, as we go along, it starts to trend down. Like, I think it'll be a good barometer and stuff like that.
Yeah, look at the 90s and the 2000s. Ooh, boy, it's. I mean, not that there aren't still gems in there, but it's where the respectability dipped a little bit. So
now,
some of his lesser entries.
Now, again, these are meant to be Hail to Stephen King special episodes. Do you want to attempt to do any of them live, or do you want to just do them? It might be a little bit tough live because, well, I think I could work it out. So if I could work it out, would you rather do it live? And audience, would you rather see us do the Stephen King novel rankings live, or would you rather just see a concise episode like we did the other tier ranking? Fuego, what would you prefer to do?
I would imagine the audience would prefer to do it live. I mean, there's already the book of the month thing. So I mean, in that case, would we just add a second live each month and do like 70s one month, 80s another month, and just kind of space it out through the next few months? I mean, that I'm sure they would prefer it live, because then you could even like do votes, you know, even throughout it, and maybe have like a fan voting, maybe not with the graphic or whatever, but you know, one of us could try to keep tallies of like, okay, it's this.
We can, but we could, but it's ultimately it's your list. So that's the thing. We can't necessarily. I want this to be yours. So yeah, we've got Chris saying live, Crystal saying live, Horror Nerd saying live. So let's see.
It seems pretty unanimous in that regard.
Well, yeah, the first three people said live. So let's see. Okay, so there have been some other questions. We'll circle back to those once we finish this bit, but. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be fun. Those are basically just going to be me doing the graphics while Fuego kind of explains his position, and I'll kind of play the part of the audience that hasn't read all of the books. So I'll be like, "Oh, really? Why is that one there? And how does it compare to this?" and stuff like that. So I'll try and at least make it interesting, you know, and not just be a bump on a log. But yeah, ultimately it's going to be Fuego's show throughout these.
Yeah, and also, I mean, you can, since most of his stuff has been adapted, there's only like probably like what, a dozen that haven't actually been made into films and stuff. So, I mean, you could be like, okay, well, I actually liked that movie. Why didn't you like the book, or vice versa? And, you could say, hey, I didn't like that movie so much, or that adaptation. Why is the book so much better? So we can bounce off each other like that and create additional dialogue, I would think. So.
Yeah, and also, guys, I wanted your opinion, the audience. Do you like? We can do. We're obviously going to continue with the horror franchises one. We're going to do the Stephen King one. I really love the tier ranking format, and I don't see any other horror YouTubers out there doing it. So I would just assume, rather than doing, here's the thing: we can definitely do the regular ranking, our favorite franchise, ranking the Nightmare movies, ranking the Jason movies, ranking, the Chucky movies, all that stuff we can still do. And then we can also do a tier ranking of each of those things. And they're two separate things because, as Fuego was saying earlier, he originally thought they were, too similar, but really it's not. In one, you're ranking all of them against each other. Like, I put this one above this one, above this one, above this one, above this one. This is literally breaking each one down into their quality and putting it in that category: A, B, C, D, E, or A, B, C, D, or F, and S. So, do you think, would you guys be interested in seeing us put out a tier ranking of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchises, or a tier ranking of the Jason movies, a tier ranking separate from our personal rankings? Or is that trying to dive too much into the ranking stuff? I would like to know your guys' opinion on that. I personally would love to do it because it's a way for us to rank the franchises two different ways. And, it wouldn't be me trying to milk stuff. It would just be me able to talk about my favorite franchises two different ways. What are your thoughts, Fuego?
Well, it's an awesome idea, especially because in a ranking, like an actual ranking sort of scenario, like a countdown, so to speak, you have to pick your favorite child. In the tier ranking, you can be like, hey, I love my three kids. They're all 3S. So it's not like I would have to put Pet Sematary above The Stand or above It or, the Dead Zone or Revival, whatever. I could have all of those be my S's, man. And, stuff like Bag of Bones and Dreamcatcher, I don't have to say that either of those are any better than the other. They're both like D's. So I don't know. I'd say it's an interesting, different approach to it. And I think with those favorite film franchises, man, it's two different, just drastically altered approaches.
Yeah.
So sounds fun.
Crystal says, I think that would be cool to do it that way, Cecil. I think that's what you think would be best. If that's what you think would be best, go for it. Let's see. I've always been more into regular rankings, but if you guys could do both, that would be cool. Tier ranking is cool when I see y'all do that before. So, all right, yeah. Horror nerd. Okay, let's hit some of these other questions. Oh, I'll give you guys a quick look at what the tier ranking is looking like right now. So this is kind of what it looks like. I'm arranging all the books down below here in the on deck circle, or the on deck rectangle, I should say, the dairy rectangle. But yeah, it's a little more dressy than the one we've been using, so I wanted to make it a little nice. So we'll be using this one, but
fit for a king, dude. Know what I'm saying?
Indeed. Getting back to Fuego here. So let's go back to some of these questions, Fuego. Let's start this Q&A. What do you say?
Downsy, man.
Crystal says, awesome, I'll go on there. It's later afternoon, evening on Sunday. If it's later afternoon or evening on Sunday, I should be able to join. Cool. Okay. Yeah. I would love to get Crystal. I know Sam Glass wants to join up for the Patreon live stream, so it'd be great to finally talk to him live and stuff like that. Right? Have we had it? We haven't talked to him live on the channel yet, have we?
I don't think we have, but I know he's done video messages or stuff he sent to us. I've heard his voice. I've seen him talking and doing things, and whether it was direct with us or with somebody else. But longtime supporter. We still need to get to Rondo, which is another Patreon request that's come from him.
Robert watched it, so as soon as another one of us watches it, we can knock that one out finally.
Nice. I was hoping to this week. He graciously sent us copies of multiple copies of the DVD of that, and then previously Phantom of the Paradise too, which I went on to love. So
I
yeah.
still haven't watched that, but I'm excited. He said now that Anna Fritz is done, he's sending us something else. So I gotta be honest, man. There's a lot of people that don't know about Anna Fritz, and Sam sent us a really great. It's again. You and I were surprised at the fact that we liked a Serbian film, and I think again we were surprised that we ended up liking Corpse of Anna Fritz because it's a genuinely good, disturbing movie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with the premise associated, I mean, that week we watched two different films that involve taking advantage of corpses without getting into too graphic detail. But yeah, Anna Fritz was so much more sophisticated. Great foreign film. Took some twist I wasn't anticipating. I was initially thinking, oh, it's going to be Autopsy of Jane Doe kind of crap, and it's drastically different, and I really dug it.
Mm-hmm. Horror Nerd, this is a good question, actually. Very, very fitting. Have you guys seen the Wolf Creek TV show? If so, what are your thoughts? Both seasons are on Shudder. Horror Nerd, we've actually reviewed both Wolf Creek movies, and we did a commentary of Wolf Creek 2 because that was requested by a patron. We also did indeed review season 1 of Wolf Creek about a year ago, and since they just put season 2 on Shudder, we actually just recorded our review of season 2 last week. It is scheduled to drop, I think, 3 Fridays from now. If you guys didn't know, I'm going to show you this other big thing right now. So, yeah, wow. It's going to replace Fuego's window, but this is our upcoming schedule of the channel. So, Wolf Creek is due 3 Fridays from now. I've got the next 3 weeks scheduled for the channel. So this is what we're looking like right here. So tomorrow is the host's review. The following day is our review of the Dead Wax Shudder TV series. The next Monday is Daniel Isn't Real. The next Tuesday is finally we're putting our Tales from the Dark Side review up. And then Wednesday will be the Tales from the Dark Side comic review. And then Thursday will be the Parasite 1 and 2 movie review, since that's now been on Netflix a couple of weeks. And then Friday will be my review of Blood Drive, the TV series. And then the following Monday, we're going to go 13 Ghosts, followed by Smoke and Mirrors, the Tom Savini story on Tuesday, your Stranger Things novel review that Wednesday, Soul Station, the prequel to Train to Busan review that Thursday, and then, yes, Wolf Creek Season 2 review on Friday, June 12th. So that's what's scheduled. If you guys want to see everything else that's ready to go, I'll show you that right now too. Because this is all staggering stuff, this is all stuff that isn't even scheduled yet. We have our Stir of Echoes review, Poughkeepsie Tapes review, Happy Season 2 review, VFW review, Wrinkles the Clown review. Fuego took a bullet and reviewed Glenn Danzig's Verotica. So that's coming up. Fuego, you'll have to talk about that.
It's something else, man. Gotta tell you. I love Danzig, but...
We have Bloody Birthday coming up, The Terror Season 1, Chernobyl Season 1. Oh, I've got my Dylan's New Nightmare table read, but I can't show you guys that anytime soon. But that is an hour and 40 minutes of goodness waiting to be released to you guys. Devilman Crybaby review, Bad Moon review, The Howling. I have the entire Howling series to release to you guys. The Howling review series. Fido, the awesome zombie movie review.
We love that.
We also have a Dylan's New Nightmare script reading, also about an hour and 40 minutes. Or a script meeting, rather, not script reading. We have the Mangler review. We have our Stung review, our Gantz Zero review, Addams Family. I have a hour-long Never Hike in the Snow behind-the-scenes episode for you guys that I cannot show you until he drops the movie. But there is an hour of Never Hike in the Snow behind the scenes right here, ready to go. I'm sure that pisses a lot of people off. And then we've got Ghoulies. We've got The Cape. 3 different comic reviews of The Cape from Joe Hill. And then we've got Grave Encounters 1 and 2, The Mist. And then finally we've got To Tokyo, The Cleanse, Assassination Nation, Tau, your Arizona review from December of 2018, Fuego.
Yeah, I have a little list of the stuff that's been sitting around for a while that I know I reviewed and I'm never threw it out there.
Nope.
Tokyo.
Evergreen. God. Evergreen, baby. The Body, which was The Body was the very first Hulu monthly thing that they put out, and now they're like almost done with year 2.
Into the Dark or whatever it is.
And then producer Dave and I did a review of The Great Wall, and we uploaded that way back in August of 2018. That still hasn't gone live. So as you can see, guys, we are not lacking in content ready for everyone. All right, you're back on screen, Fuego.
Yeah.
So
hello.
Hello, right. Oh, Wences is here. What's up, Wences?
Yo, Wences.
Man, Wences is a dude, man. We haven't seen him in a while. All right, let's see. Next, tier ranking each franchise would be cool, says Joe Malia. Good. Jesse T. I would live to see it. Leprechaun 2. Yeah, the Leprechaun franchise is on our list to do. Let's see. I think
3 is my favorite, if I recall correctly. Is that the one in Vegas?
Vegas, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, because 4 is space. No. Every Vegas, fourth entry. There's so many fourth entries of horror movies that go to space. It's crazy.
Hellraiser.
It's Hellraiser. It's Leprechaun. Critters, I think, went back to space in the 4th one, right?
Critters, yep, that was the 4th one for Critters. Jason, not till 10.
Jason was 10, yeah, but still, I like to count it anyway. All right, let's see. Chris Bethel asked, have you guys ever done a video on a movie called Scalps? I think I read it was filmed on Alice Cooper's ranch. No, but if that's the case, that means it was filmed really nearby us, because Alice Cooper lives here, so...
I'm trying to remember if that was the one from a couple years ago.
I've never heard of Scalps.
Yeah, I might be confusing it with one that was by the same director. Boy, I would have to consult, but it was just a couple of years old, and I distinctively remember the black, white, red war paint and the revenge aspect of it, but I never watched it, if that's the film that is being suggested here. So
we have Joe Malia asked, you guys watching anything new, both movie and TV-wise? I think those upcoming episodes pretty much answered that question. Yeah, we and Fuego, what do we have on the docket now to go through?
Oh, man. I just watched Primal, which you had recommended to me.
How good was that?
Dude, to convey so much emotion without any dialogue was just astounding to me. And that was from the Samurai Jack guy, who also did the original Clone Wars, not the 3D Clone Wars, but the first run of it. I can't wait to talk about it with you. It's streaming for free on the Adult Swim app, everybody. So with the Adult Swim app, you just have to deal with an ad halfway through the episode. And you can watch that. You can watch The Shivering Truth, which is also on there.
As a matter of fact, it actually is also available on HBO Max. My HBO Now got upgraded to HBO Max, and Primal is on there. So if you went and splurged for HBO Max, you can watch Primal that way.
I did. Yeah. I splurged for it. Although we're not getting that Snyder cut till when next year, like an hour.
Well, they gotta do stuff. They gotta fix it. They gotta spend the $30 million to actually do shit with it. Well, yeah, so that's a good thing to talk about.
I haven't had the chance to ask you about that.
Yeah, let's do it.
They debuted a Darkseid image today.
Darkseid, motherfucker! How dare you?
I'm not a comic guy to the degree.
It's okay. I said Darkseid for the first 10 years of my life knowing comics, so I get it.
well, there's a lot of people that say Roland or Deschain. So it's.
It's Darkseid, but yeah, I said Darkseid for a really, really long time. But yeah, it's Darkseid. Yeah, I saw that image. The blurry ass image. Like, I don't know if the one image I saw that I tried to pull up, I was like, ooh, what's he look like? And it's like, by the time I brought him big enough, I was like, I can't even, he's a blob of a human. So
and he's also like way like in the background kind of thing and stuff.
Yeah, in front of the mushroom
cloud. I've always loved Snyder, dude, and I was disappointed he didn't get to, finish things off properly, and that we got this weird, just Frankenstein of a film. Because they were getting cold feet.
I liked the Whedon aspects of the script. Like, I could tell where Whedon dropped in a lot of the times. All the humor was basically Whedon. And
very much so.
A lot of it was really fun. Here's the thing. So my opinion on it is this. The Snyder Cut, if you guys want to know specifically what we're talking about. I love Superman. I have loved Superman since I was 12 years old at the end of 1992 when they killed him in Superman 75. They had the Doomsday storyline and then they killed him. And my very first comic book ever, I now have over 77 long boxes worth of comic books. I have an entire storage unit just of my comic books, and I still have 15 boxes in my room.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's true. And I love Superman. My very first comic book was Superman 75 in the black Death of Superman bag. And I absolutely love that story. And I love Superman by himself. There have been some of the best Superman comics are the one-off comics where there's one comic from the 90s where the entire comic is him being helping out a kid. There's a group of kids playing baseball on a field together, and one of them is short one player. And so at the beginning of the issue, Superman shows up and agrees to play on that kid's team. And so the entire issue is him just playing baseball with a group of kids. And in the meantime, the main kid is like going through family drama that Superman helps him out with. And I'm like, that is Superman. And ever since Man of Steel, Snyder has not given us that Superman. Snyder, I feel like, was giving us the Injustice Superman, the dark Superman, the Superman that's going to go bad and enslave the world. I don't feel like this is my Superman. I don't feel like this is the Richard Donner Superman. I don't feel like this is even the main comic book continuity Superman. Superman smiles. Superman saves. Superman, the big problem most people had in Man of Steel was that he killed Zod. I don't have that problem because Zod is the only one he ever killed in the comics. He actually killed Zod in the comics too early on. But what I have a big problem with is him leveling the city in his fight with Zod. He would have done everything in his power to take Zod away from that city. And then the bigger problem I have is after the fight, he and Lois kiss on the destroyed rubble of the city and thousands of people's ashes. So there was a lot I didn't like in Snyder's interpretation. Also, he absolutely would have saved his dad rather than trying to protect his identity when the tornado was coming. Even though Kevin Costner was like, holds his hand up, was like, no, don't. Bullshit. He would have still zipped over and saved him because there was 8 people watching? There's no way he wouldn't have done that. So I feel like Snyder got Superman's characterization wrong from the very beginning. And I hated Superman versus Batman even more because he messed up the comic that got me into comics. So I am not, I'll definitely watch it because I do like Darkseid, but I'm worried that it's just going to be more in this unnecessarily bleak, unfun DC universe. That's the thing. People now see with the Marvel universe what superheroes can be. They're supposed to be bright. They're supposed to be fun. And DC even more so. It doesn't make sense to me that he purposely made it darker than the Marvel universe. So I apologize that my comment has taken this long, but I'll watch it, but I'm not excited about it. Anyway, what are your thoughts?
Oh, well, my response and to just kind of, I don't know, it's a different turn of the wheel, different level of the tower for all the King fans. And I know you hate it when I compare source material to an adaptation and the changes and stuff that they make. And Superman's always been a little too squeaky clean for me anyway, and I liked having a little bit darker of an interpretation. And also, Man of Steel, at least from what I gauged, was him before really becoming Superman. And so he's immature, he's reckless, all this other stuff. He's not quite ascended to that level of being the man who has all of the adequate conviction and, the knowledge and the maturity and all of this other stuff that a Reeves Superman exuded so perfectly. And so I didn't really like BVS that much. The Ultimate Cut I felt was an improvement, but yeah, there is some fun playfulness in the Whedon film, like that race at the end, which was the post-credit scene, if I remember, with Flash and stuff. And I mean, that's the kind of stuff that was most definitely absent in Snyder's film. But all of Snyder's movies are kind of dark and bleak and over the top in that regard. So I don't know. It's I can. Not to make every reference King, but it's okay, if you like that Justice League movie, it's having a different version of it. It's not going to take the one that you enjoyed away. It could make things better, could make things worse. We could realize that, hey, $30 million later, it was just a marketing ploy by HBO Max to sell subscriptions to people. So I don't know. I'm excited to see it though, because I do dig Snyder and his style a lot of the time, and he still has that zombie heist movie that's coming out, pretty soon. And I love when he does horror and stuff that's a little scarier a lot of the time. Dawn of the Dead remake. I mean what's his face? Why is his name eluding me? The Slither guy, James Gunn. That was a James Gunn script and directed by Zack Snyder. I love that Dawn of the Dead remake. So I know we've talked about it here countless times before, but
I like his style most times, but when he's basically burning my characters, I'm bummed by it. It's not making me happy. A number of things here. Wences makes a good blast here. There is a dark seed. It's called Seed of Chucky. I was like, yes.
And it's funny as hell.
Exactly. Joust Mike says Snyder is the Michael Bay of comic book movies. He's more a visual style guy, which explains the choices because it looks good. I agree. I think that totally tracks. He is a visual style. Like 300 was amazing. I love 300. I actually quite like Watchmen as well.
I don't even mind Sucker Punch, man. It's a great movie.
The dragon fight's deep, dope.
But...
Even though it's sad, it's dope because I feel bad for the baby dragon. But nonetheless, like Snyder has talent, but he's not right for the DC heroes. Like he's not. He's not. Ben Grimm, we were talking about the HBO Max briefly. Yeah. Ben Grimm reminds that Gremlins cartoon is coming to HBO Max. Definitely going to be all over that for a review. Excited about that. I've been cruising through a lot of animated stuff. Guys, just as a side note, I know this isn't horror, but if you want a good cartoon to watch with your kids and you have Disney Plus, watch the new DuckTales. I am almost done with the second season, and I am bummed I have to wait like a year for the third season to drop on Netflix or on Disney Plus because it is really good. All of the boys have different voices now, and they're all really funny comedians. It's a very Community-heavy cast. If you like the show Community, there's like 4 voices from Community in there. And
now I know why you like it so much.
Well, not just that. No, I mean, dude, Bobby Moynihan from SNL is one of the boys. He's hilarious, and then Ben Schwartz, who just played Sonic, he's one of the boys, and he's great. And like, it's just amazing.
And they bring in other characters, right? Like Chip and Dale and Darkwing Duck.
They haven't brought in Chip and Dale, but Launchpad is there from Darkwing Duck, and then Darkwing Duck himself, yes. And that's really, like, because I was like, ooh, if they did DuckTales, I hope they bring back Darkwing Duck, but they've brought him back in such an interesting way where it's actually Jim Cummings playing, like, the actor that played, the duck that played Darkwing Duck, even though Jim Cummings is the voice of him. So like he gets wind of, it's the Kevin Smith story, right? He gets wind of the fact that they're doing a Darkwing Duck reboot, and he assumes he's a part of it. And so he goes and he finds out he's been replaced by a younger Duck who's like totally in love with him and is such a big fan. But eventually by the end, he becomes the villain because he's so gone crazy that he can't be Darkwing Duck anymore. Now he's going to be Darkwing Duck's nemesis. I was like, that's fucking good writing, dude. So yeah, DuckTales is really, really good, you guys, if you haven't checked it out yet.
I was a big fan of it, man. And I mean, this is obviously people around our age who grew up with the show, and then they're older now, and they can have that just, I don't know, appealing to both kids and adults, which is something Pixar and some of the best animation has the ability to do. And, yeah, I'm going to have to make the time, man. Make the time. Amongst everything else we're all trying to watch constantly.
I know, right? Let's see that. Jesse T. What new DuckTales? Mies must check it out. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. They're only like 8 episodes into the 3rd season right now, wherever it airs. I'm not sure if it airs on Cartoon Network or what, but let's see. Papillion says, y'all should really check out Dark on Netflix. 10 out of 10. Best airing series right now. Every series seems childish to me after watching it. And I wanted to hit that because ever since we did a trailer reaction of that first season and it dropped, we've gotten comment after comment saying this show is so good. And then when the second season dropped, we got another influx of comments saying, oh, have you guys watched this show yet? The second season was so good. So, like, this show, I don't know. We might have to give it a try, Fuego.
Is that the one where the kids had disappeared and
I can't
well,
remember. I think something
I
like
know
that
it's
though.
yeah, and I know it's European. I know trailers for the third season just dropped because it's going to be coming out pretty soon. So, yeah, it's just always tougher with TV series and the extent of dedication in comparison with just a movie, which is one and done. And it's something I say on here a lot. We can turn over a lot more content with movies in comparison. But as you guys all saw, we have so much content just stacked for weeks at this particular point. It's like, what do we even pick and choose to cover new that's coming out? At
Yeah,
least the whole industry is slowed down now because of craziness that we're dealing with pandemics and whatnot. But yeah,
yeah. You
it's a
guys
stack.
saw. I just showed you. Even putting out one episode a day, we still have 2 months worth of content ready to go. Even if we stopped recording right now, we'd have one episode a day for the next 2 months still.
Yeah, yeah, and we
Samuel
still have
Glass
like
just dropped in too. We need to say hi to Samuel because he just dropped in. I think he missed when we talked about him, but he had a really good comment here that I'll get back to. Finish what you're saying though.
no. I was just going to say that even this weekend we have like 10, 12 videos of reviews planned. If we like go forward with everything that's on the docket, man,
Yeah,
it's nuts. So
it is. It is. And here's the problem. I genuinely think we need to try for a month to do 3 episodes a week and just see if that improves our shareability. I honestly think we're getting handicapped because we're doing one episode a day still. I just want to
oh,
try it for a month and just see what happens. So, fair warning to all of you guys watching, we may try a month where because here's the thing, we work hard to produce this content. Even though we don't drop in clips of all the movies because I don't want to deal with copyright issues, we still work hard to produce all this content for you guys. I mean, still, recording 10 episodes every week, that's no joke, Like, I have to edit all those and make thumbnails and all that shit. So, it's no joke, but we also want to make it worth our time, like we're all coming, they're not getting paid to come out here and record this shit yet. We don't make enough money for me to pay the crew. Like, that's just the way of it, in all honesty. So I want, because they've been putting in so much time and effort, I want the channel to grow the way Cody's is growing, the way a lot of other channels are growing. But they only put out 2 to 3 episodes a week, man. And if that's if YouTube is like, oh, they're putting out so much, I'm not going to push them. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. But we're not going to
yeah.
know unless we
I don't
try.
either. Even the biggies like Stuckman and Johns and stuff, they do like 3, maybe 4 a week. They'll cover a topic if it's trending.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like a really important trailer that they need to give thoughts on, like a big release that they know will trend because of their subscribership. But aside from that, as far as like newer stuff, a couple things a week.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough when we're seeing the numbers and how they fluctuate and how they're strange with us sometimes after doing this for so long and with over 33,000 subscribers now, a threshold we just crossed, which was cool. And there's even more and more coming out with new streaming services and all this other stuff to cover, and it's like, what do we pick and choose to do? And I don't know.
That's let's be honest, we don't like to pick and choose. We just want to cover it all. I mean,
we try to be the most comprehensive horror channel on YouTube. That's why we were so bold and just kicking our own asses with 2 episodes a day for a couple years there.
Mm-hmm.
And we scaled back to 1 episode a day just to see if that would help, and numbers have stayed about the same. I mean, we saw probably our biggest growth in 2017, and that's like 3 years ago now. So.
All right, so let me go back a little bit. I don't want to miss anyone's comment here.
There was one that I saw from Skyman about Tales from the Crypt that I wanted to address.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if Skyman is still in the chat, but I've been rewatching Tales from the Crypt recently for the first time in years. Do you guys have favorite episodes? And I reviewed every episode of the entire series many, many years ago, like 6 years ago at this particular point. And there's definitely some gems in there. The thing that just bums me out is that it's not streaming anywhere. It's nowhere to be found, not even on HBO Max. So it was one of the first things I looked at when my HBO Max booted up today. I'm like, are they finally going to put it on there? I hadn't heard any rumblings about it. They didn't. There's some great stuff out there, man. I mean, Television Terror, one of my absolute favorites, about this schlock, kind of much sleazier Geraldo type guy who goes and investigates this alleged haunted house with a film crew, and they start realizing maybe the place is actually haunted. It's got a lot of dark humor. It's really fun. Boy, there's another one. The title of it is eluding me, but it's where this doctor is trying to find the soul gland. It's in season 6 of the show. That one is pretty terrific. It's got Dwight Yoakam of all people in it. There's some great episodes, but just like with any anthology, there's a lot of weaker episodes too. The 7th season is the absolute worst, but you can find, I know we have a playlist for it here on the channel of me reviewing every single one of the 93 episodes of Tales from the Crypt if you want to get really bold and check some of that out.
We had a recent comment that was like, you missed this one and this one. I was like, I didn't even want to comment, but I was like, I'm pretty sure we did them all because it was 31 episodes and it was only 93, so... I never answered this. Just Mike, curious, do you guys watch horror anime series? We've watched a number of them, especially recently, actually. I've reviewed One Punch Man season 1 and 2, even though that's kind of horror adjacent. There's monsters. Devilman Crybaby is coming up. I think we reviewed Claymore. That's like my favorite. I don't know if we actually ever did review Claymore, but it's my favorite.
I know I did. Yeah.
And then we
have Parasite, obviously.
Parasite, the Maxim, absolutely. That's a recent one. And Robert and I plan to review. I have this. I need to do a horror haul, but I got the live action Tokyo Ghoul movie. So we're gonna watch that, and then we will maybe go through that anime. We have a few other horror animes we're gonna go through, but. Yeah, the ones I can really recommend are Parasite the Maxim, Claymore, and stick with those for now. Let's see.
Yeah, I've been trying to push the original Berserk series for a while because I know you've been watching some of the reboot.
I watched all 3 of them. Yeah, those were great.
Yeah, and I know they have 2 seasons of like they continue the story after those 3 films, and they actually have full seasons of the show too, and. Yeah, it's intensive from what I've heard, but I have like the first 20 mangas, and I have the entirety of the original series from the 90s. So,
okay, let's see. Getting back a little bit closer to caught up. What are your thoughts on Ryan Nicholson films? Says Horror Nerd 13. I don't know what those films are. Clarify which movies those are. Horror Nerd 13. Alex Morera. I like the idea, even though I know Freddy's Dead will be number 1 in every ranking. Damn, I'm going back to my question. You're wrong, but maybe not far. Zachary,
I actually have to interject really quickly. So the other night after Catherine crashed out and I was bored and I was trying to find something to watch, I was just scrolling through Shudder, and it was like 1 a.m. And I was like, I just watched Harpoon that night, and I was like, what else do I want to watch?
That was good, wasn't it?
I dug Harpoon.
Yeah.
Dark comedy.
It was mean. That was mean.
Dude, yeah, and it was funny because I was wondering if it was going to be as mean as it actually was, and I was just like, it was fun, man. But I threw on Never Sleep Again because I'd never watched it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I stayed up till 5 a.m. and just watched the whole thing.
It's such a great documentary.
So comprehensive, man, and just the extent of the interviews. It's unfortunate they couldn't get like Patricia and a few others, but just the amount of care and detail and attention that they gave to each, like it didn't feel rushed. They gave each film its adequate spotlight, and I mean some of those behind the scenes photos and talk about bits that were cut out and trimming of the gore, dealing with the MPAA and the 5th installment. It's really good shit, man. That one was pretty fantastic.
We should probably throw a review up of that, actually, since we haven't yet. I would be down to rewatch it. I should probably rewatch it anyway, leading into DNN. So yeah, let's plan on doing that. I'll pull that because I actually have that, and I bought the Blu-ray with that and Crystal Lake Memories on it for like $30. Because Crystal Lake Memories is like a 7-hour documentary apparently.
Hadn't the team behind Never Sleep Again already done a Jason doc?
I don't know.
I remember.
Sure.
I think they had. Yeah, but just the way they talked about Wes Craven's New Nightmare in that doc, man, and just Robert talking about how ahead of its time it was and how as time has gone on, it might be his favorite entry just because it was the last one with Wes and everybody was so positive on the set and they knew just how ahead of its time the film was. And
I really hope
good
Mad
stuff,
Monster
good
Phoenix
stuff.
happens in October and that Robert comes out, because if so, I might actually be able to show him some footage, and that would be really dope if so.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Zachary said, "What's Wolf Creek season 2 like?" I hated the first. We all liked season 2 a lot better than the first season, because season 2 was basically Mick versus a trailer full of people, and so it wasn't just one person trying to get back at Mick. It was just a long, gory horror movie. So I really liked it.
So like lots of cannon fodder with all those peeps. Or, I mean,
there's like 13 tourists, so that's definitely a lot. Anibal Rivero says, "Oh no, Veronica was terrible." Still a really funny movie, so we'll all get Fuego's thoughts on it soon. Let's see here.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was at least amusing. I mean, I will at least give it that. So.
Wences said he's surviving, working back in retail, so that's fun. Working on a couple horror fanfics if we're interested. I mean, Wences, knowing you, I'm not sure if it's horror fanfics or porner fanfics, but I'd be interested to take a look either way. Dalton Pierce, I haven't seen any of your new videos since coronavirus started. I haven't been getting notifications or seeing them in my sub box till this stream. Weird. Yeah, I mean, we put out one a day, so you have lots to catch up on. Horror Nerd,
yeah, make sure you hit the bell. Hit the bell, right?
Well, so, not only that, but you got to select all, not just some.
Exactly.
Click bell.
They have the little distinctiveness now.
Horror Nerd 13 asked, thoughts on Kong's beard in Godzilla vs. Kong? I think it looks stupid. Do apes grow beards like that? Is that what happens with apes? I don't know.
Is that how? Is he like older and bigger and more grizzled and they're trying to justify his comparable size?
I guess, but he's just got a big beard.
We saw him in the last movie.
Yeah, he's just got a big old beard, and I think it looks kind of silly personally, but we'll see. All right, let's see. Yeah, Samuel's here. The Snyder's Dawn of the Dead is awesome.
Jax the Ripper saw the Degeneration X in the background. What?
Yeah, Tony T, are you guys excited about the next Escape Room film? I'll watch it. I like the first one.
It was fun. I mean, it wasn't terrific, but it could have been crap, and it was actually quite enjoyable. Solid cast. It's a bummer it's delayed, but hasn't everything just been frozen in Hollywood? Since all this went down. So what are you gonna do?
Wences asks, so Cecil, what would be the plot of your Community movie? # 6 seasons in a movie.
Oh.
I would have, much like the cast said, because I watched, while in quarantine, the Community cast got together and did a table read remotely of one of their episodes, and then did like an hour-long follow-up discussion, and then like a 45-minute discussion on Joel McHale and on Joel McHale's podcast, The Darkest Timeline, with oh my god, I'm spacing his name now, Ken Jeong. So I think they would have to go. I think Abed would go looking for Troy, and everyone else would kind of back him up. I think they might have to save the school, though. I think it would have to be the community colleges closing down, and they were all brought back in order to save the college. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Papillion keeps pimping out Dark. Like, you really got to watch Dark. Do you have any good non-US horror series recommendations? I haven't watched many non-American ones yet. I keep hearing Kingdom is great, but I haven't watched it yet because zombies.
Yeah, I was going to say Mikey Mnemonic recommended that one to us recently, and especially after watching Monstrum, and which was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the hell out of Monstrum. I thought it was pretty damn good. So, yeah, anything Korean horror, man, it's probably, as far as the Far East and that sort of Eastern Asian horror goes, South Korea to be specific, is my go-to. So.
So we're circling back to when we were talking about changing the schedule a little bit. Zachary Hayes says, do you need a push? It's all about the numbers, JK. And or it's all about the numbers, JK. I was like, no, it's not all about the numbers, but you guys we have over 3,000 episodes on the channel in a little over 5 years, and we wouldn't hate it if we started to see a little bit of monetary compensation for it, especially the rest of these guys. I mean, during the quarantine, it's a rough situation. So if we had, the amount of patrons that some of our contemporaries do, or the amount of views even per video that some of our contemporaries do, it would make a difference. So, we have to make decisions that are we've been doing it for 5.5 years where it's just like, let's just do it because we just like talking about horror. And that's still the case, but we have to be smart about it. If we can bring in more viewers by putting up less every week, then why not? It just means that instead of the next 2 months worth of episodes, now we've got 6 months worth of episodes. You know what I mean? And yes, they might not all be super timely, but you'll get our opinion on everything eventually. So I don't know. It's just something we're talking about. Dice Roland shows up. Heyo, what's up, Dice?
Yeah.
Jesse T says, how about one big live stream horror show a week with a few videos a week? Maybe. I would like to do one live stream a week. I'm actually.
That's what we were trying to do for a while.
I'm tempted. I'm trying to talk to another YouTuber about doing a regular episode, a regular live stream, maybe once a month. That would be a lot of fun. I haven't nailed down the details with that YouTuber yet, so if I get that going, that will be happening and that will be fun. So. Samuel Glass says, Fuego, I really need to catch up with your content related to Psy King, but have you heard any buzz about an adaptation of Eyes of the Dragon? We need some dragon love in the absence of Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's one of... I've been putting together a list of every single adaptation that is currently in development. I mean, just recently we heard about Mike Flanagan doing Revival, which, to quote Jay and Silent Bob, I think I just filled the cup. That's pretty much how I felt about that. But yeah, it's that project specifically is being developed at Sci-Fi. They announced that about a year or so ago. But once again, we hear about these things, and then often a year or even more goes by before we get any concrete details, especially with the standstill of filming and a lot of development that's we've been stuck in for 2 months now. So
Zachary Hayes says, any anime for a noob? I can't get into them. I would say, again, my favorite, the one that really got me into it was Claymore. It's a 24 episode series. It's self-contained, and it's about a bunch of female monster hunters, one in particular. And I really liked the way it was told. I liked the gore. And, Fuego always talked mad love for Akira.
Yeah, Akira, Vampire Hunter D, but I actually like the Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust sequel, which is based on the third novel, because there are so many of those novels over in Japan. I think they've got 20 or 30 of them now. I own the first 10 of them. I've read the first, 4 or 5 of them, I think, but Bloodlust, the sequel, I think is actually better. Really, it probably depends what sort of horror, as far as storytelling goes. And that's where we could point you to something more specifically, like the aforementioned Berserk is medieval horror. Vampire Hunter D is post-apocalyptic, vampire stuff, obviously, hence the name, with dampiers and monster hunters and all kinds of stuff like that. Akira is kind of dystopian body horror almost. Parasite's also body horror to a degree. So it really probably, if we knew specifically the kind of horror you're into, we could make a suggestion a little bit more easily in that regard. But
yeah, Zachary, help us out. Dice Roland says, here's a question for my own personal benefit. Any intention of reviewing Phantom of the Paradise in the future? Have we ever reviewed the movie? Did you review it?
I reviewed it with Amanda Stone on Channel Sundown many.
Yeah, we need a review for our channel. All right, well, I'll watch it. And then you and I can do a review for our channel.
I love that movie. I mean, honestly, Jessica Harper is a badass in it. The original songs are terrific. It's a little goofy at times, but yet it's so heartfelt.
What musical isn't?
Yeah, and that one specifically. I mean, but it's early Brian De Palma. There's some songs that make me tear up in that, and Samuel Glass, if he's still in the chat, thanks to him so very much for introducing that film to me on that CD that he sent out to us, and then I got to see it at Film Bar here. Who knows when that'll ever reopen? But yeah, we're still chug-a-lugging along.
Horror Nerd 13 clarifies, Ryan Nicholson directed Gutterballs, Famine, Live Feed, Hanger. I enjoy Gutterballs, a slasher film set in a bowling alley. I will say, I believe I watched Live Feed. I don't remember it, but I'm pretty sure I watched that in my heyday of going to Blockbuster and just picking out horror movies that I'd never heard of before. I believe I watched that one, but I'd be open to watching more of those movies. I'm always open to horror that I've never seen before, unless it's like really old.
Yeah, I think Gutterballs, I remember some box art at one particular time, but no, I'm not really familiar. Can't say I've watched any of that particular director's work. So
regrets of that. I forgot about this. No wonder you got HBO Max. Angus Johnson asks, he's not part of AC/DC, right? Angus Johnson?
Saying Angus Young.
Oh, so close. Okay. Actually not close at all, but same first name. Are you excited about the Overlook series coming to HBO Max in the future, Jaime and Fuego?
Cautious optimism, I guess. The fact that, it's funny. I was initially thinking I was going to do a whole video on it, but there was already so much in the production notes for different anniversary stuff and whatnot that I didn't end up doing it. But yeah, I'm quite stoked about it. I feel like it was initially going to be a feature film, if I remember correctly, and they were developing it as far as like 5-6 years ago. And J.J. Abrams swoops in, and he's like, no, this has enough ground for us to just kind of mess around in, with so many different like just hints at stories from the Shining film and source material. Obviously, they're like, we could do this as a full series. We don't need to have it condensed. And although I will say, this does make me believe that Castle Rock is pretty much like Dunzo, because
it is.
Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams were the ones behind that, and now they're shifting gears over to this. So I'd say peace out, Castle Rock, and I'm very curious as to what they could do with Overlook. There's a lot they could do, a lot of wiggle room. So yeah.
Michael M made me laugh with his joke. I'll get to it in just a second. My answer to that, he didn't, even though he didn't ask. I'm excited about it. Like, the Overlook, the Overlook is much closer. Yeah, the Overlook is much closer to the Castle Rock series we were hoping we would get. Like it felt like Castle Rock could have been good because there was a lot of cool stuff there, and specifically Needful Things. That store was there and everything. But yeah, the Overlook. I can't remember if it was you, Fuego, if it was someone else we just heard about, but there's ideas floating around, or maybe it was something that I just mused randomly. I don't know. But
we actually talked about this during the last news segment.
Is that what it was?
About this particular story.
Where people could, characters could come and stay one episode at a time at the Overlook. So each episode would focus on one of the Stephen King characters from another novel that would come and stay and deal with some kind of crazy shit that happened at the Overlook. Like, my God, if they do anything even near that, I will be a happy, happy boy. What about you?
Well, I mean, being a different turn of the wheel level of the tower, as I always say, but a different in interpretation, a different realm, so to speak. All the stuff that they talk about in the Shining book, it took place, decades and decades before Jack Torrance ever got there. So I don't know, some of those characters wouldn't be period appropriate, but if they're going to pull the Castle Rock approach and just put a young Annie Wilkes in Castle Rock as opposed to Colorado, I mean, shit, they can do whatever they want. I mean, sky is the limit there. But that would be a cool approach.
That would be great if she's technically on the run now after the season 2, so that would be a great little tie-in just for an episode.
She was the best part of both seasons of that show, in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is actually a really good question, and I would have to think about it for a minute, so maybe you'll have an answer quicker than me. What is both of your favorite horror collector's edition that you both own?
I mean, for a while,
I was going
probably...
to say Terminator 2. The collector's edition of Terminator 2 or Aliens. Ugh.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. When I got the quadrilogy for the first time with all of that supplemental material, I still have the older version of it. They have released a slimmed down, condensed version that doesn't have as much of the additional art, and it's like a small packaging instead of like that huge box like the original one is. And I still have that. That's one of my prized things. I have a signed by Todd McFarlane. It's actually in the background right over there. You can't really see it very well, but I have a signed by Todd McFarlane Laserdisc of the original Spawn HBO series that a friend of mine who used to work for FedEx here in Phoenix, he would deliver to Todd all the time. And he just brought a bunch of stuff for Todd to sign back in the 90s. And he's like, hey, can you sign this for me? My friend, it was a friend from my church, for God's sake. And so that's been sitting in my collection for like 20 something years at this point. So those are the first two that come to mind, but yeah.
That's cool. I wish I had my Blu-rays to sit there and look at, but I'm sure I've got one that I would, the Turbo Kids set is pretty cool.
I have that too. Yeah. That 3-disc soundtrack and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Vinyls now too, man. Those vinyls,
dude, the vinyls are dope. Yeah, but he said collector's edition. Well, that's true. He didn't necessarily say movie. Yeah, well, if that's the case, then the Box of Souls Nightmare set is probably my favorite vinyl. If I had to pick one piece of vinyl, the Box of Souls set is a huge cheat, but I would go with that.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Good question, Horner. Yep. Wences, I will say they're good ideas, just all seem like they've been done before. Friday the 13th and a solo suspense story of Tommy. Final Destination, the final moments of Alex and Clear. Scream 4.5, where Kirby lives, etc. I'm not sure which part of our discussion that was referring to.
I have seen all this justice for Kirby trending on Twitter lately. That was what I'm trying to remember her name, Hayden Pritchett or whatever. She was the cheerleader.
Oh, Hayden Panettiere?
Yeah, that's her name. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, very, very, you're a pretty lady.
I only saw Scream 4 once. I don't even remember what happened.
Dude, I love Scream 4. Scream 4, I love the commentary about the remake culture within Hollywood. I thought the Culkin kid was good as the Randy stand-in. I enjoyed him. Is it Emma Roberts, who was the girl who ended up being the villain? And that scene where she does it because she's trying to be famous. Spoilers, sorry everybody, it's like a 15-year-old movie now. And when she runs into the glass and just busts her face open, like that. Again,
I've only seen it once. I need to rewatch it.
Well, especially with them working on the 5th Scream now.
Yeah.
And apparently David Arquette's coming back. No confirmation on anybody else, but that has what has helped spark the justice for Kirby bit. Is they're like, oh, could we pull a Dewey and not have her die? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember how definitive her death was in the movie, because that's one thing I can't remember very well. But
Crystal Sykes says, have you guys heard anything about the New Mutants' new release date? Do you think it will ever come out? And then Michael M. made us laugh with, I think John Travolta will come out before the New Mutants. I think it will come out eventually. It's never going to live up to any hype that it might have at this point. But it might end up surprising people. I think at the most, we're going to get a surprise. Like, people are going to be like, that was good. And that's the most we'll get out of this.
It was a great cast. It got delayed. It does have a new release date it's supposed to be coming out in August now. But then again, everybody's even wondering how open theaters will be in August. Christopher Nolan is still trying to stay pretty pat with that Tenet, whatever it is, release, but there's still a lot of speculation that a lot of those things hoping to come out late July, August, September might not make those dates, might get pushed back further. So we'll see.
Burke Damarel says, I have visualized Charles Jacobs as Stephen McHattie while reading Revival. I'm a big Pontypool fan. I don't know. I've never read Revival, so I couldn't speak to that.
So it's fantastic. I've always thought of Michael Shannon. So they would basically have a younger Michael Shannon, and then they would just age him with makeup as the film goes on. So
I will find him. Sorry, that's the Michael Shannon line from Man of Steel. Let's see. You guys should watch Dinner with a Vampire and Graveyard Disturbance. Both great 80s Italian cheese, says Tony T. Maybe. Horror Nerd asks, have you guys seen Sweatshop, another cool slasher film with a really cool gore? No, I haven't. The acting is bad, but there's some funny characters, and it's definitely worth a watch for the gore. You sell me. That's an easy sell for me. Gore is why I like horror movies. So, Sweatshop. I'll have to try and find that one. And the slasher villain looks really cool. A huge guy with a big-ass hammer thing. Yeah. That sounds good. Anibal says he does not like the idea of an Overlook series. The mystery of the Overlook in both The Shining and Dr. Sleep enhances the experience, in my opinion.
Well, to each their own. I mean, there's
it's not erasing any of that, you know.
Yeah. Well, and also there's a lot that is explored by Jack as he's looking through all those old newspapers and stuff like that. So I mean, there is enough they could cull from.
So Wentz says his last comment was in reference to his fanfics that he's been working on. That makes more sense. Kirby's death was not definite. She got stabbed by Culkin in the backyard after his monologue, and then they just went straight to the final act. Oh, and Kirby was Hayden Panettiere?
Exactly. So that's what made me think that it was a Dewey death. It was an undefinitive, because he died practically in like every movie almost, and then he was like, you hear that little the Dewey score theme, and
sorry, I killed Zachary's. I killed everyone's ears when I killed yours with the Michael Shannon line. Sorry, Zachary, my bad. Usually it's Fuego that busts everyone's eardrums with his Hail to Stephen King intros.
Yeah, I've been trying to get further back from the mic lately, but it is what it is. Now, honestly, anytime I think of Dewey, though, I think of goddamn Scary Movie and goddamn it, Doofy, stop putting your dick in the vacuum cleaner or whatever.
I told you to stop bothering me when I'm cleaning my room. All right, so we've been going for over an hour, guys. Do you have more questions? Because I know Fuego's got some stuff he wants to get done. Michael Shannon line, can you repeat it, Cecil? I will find him! Is that better? That's how you got to do it.
Great Michael Shannon movie, if anybody has seen it, is Bug, with him and the Ashley Judd. It is a weird, paranoid, strange movie about all kinds of nastiness. It's almost like borderline body horror by the end of it, but great soundtrack. Serge Tankian, rest peacefully to former singer of STP, Scott Weiland. He did a song for it too. William Friedkin film, actually, the director of The Exorcist, did this movie. Bug. If you guys haven't seen it, seek it out.
Tony T, do you guys think drive-in theaters will make a comeback because of COVID? I think they already are.
They have been.
Yeah.
I think The Wretched has made like $600,000-$700,000 at the drive-ins.
Wow.
Because drive-ins never closed throughout the entirety of this. They stayed open because they were safe social distancing. So
we lost our drive-ins years ago. We don't even have anymore.
Oh, we have one in Glendale.
That one's still open?
Still open. I almost went to it a couple times.
Wow.
But I was like, if I can watch this at home on VOD, do I really want to go out driving around in this creepy world? I guess the most dedicated, but yeah.
Jesse T says, "Oh my, Bug was so good." Wentz says,
awesome
Horror Nerd says, "Have you guys seen Downrange? It's a horror thriller on Shudder, really awesome." That's one of the ones we saw at festival, right? So yeah, we definitely reviewed that. Yep.
Yeah, that was the one by the guy who did
No One Lives.
Japanese director. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he did No One Lives and Godzilla Final Wars. We had high hopes for it, but it was I think it was just okay. It was just okay.
Yeah. It was a little thin on story and character development and stuff, but it had some nice gore effects. Simple premise, but it was good.
I think the gore was too dummy-ish for me, if I recall correctly. Like it just looked too dummy.
A little bit.
It was very last shot of Cell Block 99. Like it was that kind of thing.
Oh, I love Brawl in Cell Block 99. That's a fun one. And that director's movie, Dragged Across Concrete, with Vince Vaughn again and Mel Gibson, is really good too. Awesome score. Great movie.
Samuel Glass says, "Take Shelter" is Shannon's tour de force performance. I don't think I've seen that.
That's another really good one. Yeah. That's one where he's paranoid, and he has like this bomb shelter that he's put together and stuff. And
I think I'm paranoid.
And
complicated. Thank you.
Yeah, Shirley Manson. That's what's up.
All right. So Wences says, last random question, I swear. Either best friend or boyfriend introduced me to a cheesy 90s horror movie called The Fear with a wooden statue killer. Have either of you two seen it? No, but if it's cheesy 90s horror, I would love to. I remember the 90s horror movie Fear with Mark Wahlberg.
Let me in the house.
Just let me in the house. And that you know what messed me up about that movie was him putting the fucking dog's head through the door.
Yeah,
goddamn worst, dude.
And anytime it's animals, man, for whatever reason, it just hits so much harder for I think just about everybody.
Have a good night, horror nerd. We're probably going to be wrapping up soon anyway, so don't worry too much. Thank you for your interaction, much appreciated. Samuel says, now that you guys have seen a Serbian film, is there anything you absolutely won't watch? I will absolutely never watch Salo. You will never catch me watching Salo. I'm sorry. I don't care what redeeming qualities a movie might have. You will not watch me watching shit eating on camera. I cannot, even if it's fake shit. Salo, I will not watch. I'll watch almost anything else. Even a Serbian film, didn't bother me in the least bit. Again, I think we got the version that didn't have real aggressive baby rape.
That was, that's someone we didn't.
But nonetheless, I can deal with most anything. I've never seen Cannibal Holocaust. I need to watch that. I've never seen the other one, Ferox. Isn't that a recent cannibal movie that's supposed to be pretty crazy? Ferox. Never seen that. I would watch stuff. We watched Corpse of Anna Fritz, and I would watch stuff, but I just don't know what to watch as long as it's not Salo.
Well, I mean, I've seen Pink Flamingos, John Waters, but that's a little bit different with Divine eating the shit.
I can't do that.
I don't know, man. I mean, it's just really the graphic rape that I cannot deal with. As the
Last House on the Left, and I Spit on Your Grave, 1, 2, 4. Yeah. There's how many movies can we make with extended rape scenes? I'm not a big fan of that either.
Oh, well, it's horrible to watch. But I mean, the remake of Hills Have Eyes was another one that had just one of the most horrible depictions of it I've ever seen. It just, ugh.
So Anibal has a good comment here. HBO Max is going to have a watch along of It Chapter 2 with Andy Muschietti, and there's talk of the announcement of the supercut.
It's going to be an HBO Max exclusive.
I don't care. I'll watch it.
Yeah,
I'll rip that shit.
Well, he has been saying for a while that he was actually going to take both films plus all of his unused footage, and a few of them were deleted scenes on some of the respective home releases. But he said he still has not hours, but a very large assembly of additional scenes and stuff, and he wants to recut it almost like what was done with the Dr. Sleep director's cut, where it's broken down into chapters. But he was saying he wants to even restructure some stuff and make it more faithful to the book, as opposed to having it separated the way that he did, because in the book it goes back and forth throughout, as opposed to keeping it separate. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Warner, man, HBO Max, is very much attempting to make a play and be the boldest competitor with Netflix right now. And if you signed up for it like I did, I got the $11.99 for the first year as opposed to the $14.99 because I canceled my HBO Now, and then I signed up for Max, and so they're knocking $3 off for this first year. And I still have to watch Watchmen and Westworld, and maybe I'll finally get around to Game of Thrones and some of these others that I just have never done. And that would be a good power play on their part, with that being the thing that restarted the King-assance. And all our coverage of that film in 2017 was very helpful in the growth of this channel, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. If we're gonna do that, let's finally get that Quentin Tarantino Kill Bill cut going. I've been dying to see that massive thing. He only put it out in one time in a theater, and I missed it. So I would be down for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they did the extended Hateful Eight on Netflix, where they broke it into chapters.
Loved that. I thought that was such a better presentation. I hope they do the same thing with the Snyder Cut.
which is what they're rumored to be doing, right? Is it's going to be like a 6 hour or like
no, four.
broken 4 hour, but broken into like separate installments. Yeah.
Right, just like Hateful Eight, four episodes. Wences says, okay, good to know. Dog scene in Fear. I'm a big visitor of Does the Dog Die? Yeah, don't watch Fear if you don't want to see dogs die. Michael M. So no 2 Girls 1 Cup review? No, definitely not. Yeah. Samuel says, I'm with you there, Cecil. I couldn't watch 2 Girls 1 Cup, so yeah, Scat is out. 100%.
I don't even think anybody watches that entire thing. They're there for a couple minutes and then they're just gone. So.
Fair enough. And Samuel said goodnight and stay scared. Stay scared to you, sir.
Woo!
And then Ms. Marie, another patron, says no one should watch Cannibal Holocaust. They actually killed animals in that movie. That's not good. Ms. Marie, go check Patreon because I want to know when people can jump on a stream. So if you could do a Sunday soon, let us know. Do we need a longer It Chapter 2? They should have cut all the kids stuff. It added nothing, says Zachary Haith. I liked It Chapter 2, but I did not like it as much as It Chapter 1. So
give me the supercut. I'm one of those. Yeah, but that's just me.
No, I'd be down for a 4-hour version. Yeah, 100%, or 6 hour even.
Practically.
So yeah, guys, we're almost at an hour and a half. Any final questions before we sign off, Fuego? Anything you want to talk about or address before we say goodbye?
Well, on my separate little baby solo channel, I just crossed 1,000 subscribers today, so that was kind of a fun milestone as I forged forward and just in seeing the annals of the YouTubing. I mean, after abandoning the channel essentially for almost 2 years and then starting it back up last year in 2019, it's been, hey, it takes dedication and it's a process and stuff. But thankfully, I've got some support from some of the horror show peeps, and it's nice to have an outlet to cover other stuff. And so yeah.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check it out.
YouTube.com/Jaime.
Indeed. So thank you very much for joining us, you guys. Thank you. Anibal's taking off. Yeah, stay healthy and stay happy, stay horror-y. Love you guys very much. We greatly appreciate it. And obviously, you see, we have tons of content coming. And Fuego, so I am 3 issues away from the end of Umbrella Academy Hotel Oblivion. So
that's the second one, right?
Third one. So I'll have the next 2 series for you, and then
I have the trade of the second one already.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Dallas, I think.
Yeah, Dallas. Yeah. Okay. So I'll just give you I'll give you the third one and the Hazel and Cha-Cha one shot, because that's the most recent thing that came out. They're actually going to be doing more when the new season comes, so it's good. We're going to knock those out. Don't forget to finish the Hellraiser stuff because I do have the next grip of Hellraiser books for you as well, and then. Nice. After that, I am going to, because the final issue of Basket Full of Heads #7 came out today. So I'm going to, and I heard, yeah, right? How dope was that head key homage, right? How cool was that?
Yep.
I was like, I looked at the regular cover and then I looked at that one. I was like, oh my God, I'm so getting this one instead. But I hear that it's a fantastic series. I saw some reviews going around of issue 7 and they're like, Joe Hill, this is not like a tease for comeback more later. They're like, it ends it, but it is brilliant and heartfelt and amazing. So I'm like really excited. So I'm gonna finish Hotel Oblivion, then I'll read that, and then because both that and the Dollhouse Family are done. So I'll read those 2 and I'll hand those off to you as well. So yeah, we got a lot of comic reviews to finish coming up. So make sure you cruise through those Hellraisers because I don't think it'll take you that long.
No, not at all. Especially, I mean, being familiarized at least with those first 2 volumes. So yeah.
I'm loving the audiobook Scarlet Gospels. Yeah, it's really cool. It's entertaining, man. There's a lot of Pinhead in it. A lot. Like a lot of Pinhead.
I'm just wanting to I'm wanting to check out some of the stuff with that detective who's in it, man. The guy from Lord of Illusions, because he's in Everville, he's in Great and Secret Show, he's in a story in Books of Blood 6. So he's been in a fair share of stuff himself. So
damn, I didn't realize he'd been in that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a popular Barker character. So
Yeah, I'm just sticking with this for now. But yeah, so we've got reviews of all that coming as well, you guys. Thank y'all very much. Yeah, congrats to Fuego. People are saying for your 1,000 subs. So
Go
yeah,
over and subscribe, please.
indeed, indeed. So thank you guys very much for watching. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
And gracias a Jaime and Fuego.
And stay tuned. This Sunday, we will either be doing a live stream Patreon Q&A, or we will likely be doing a live stream commentary. One or the other will likely be happening this Sunday. So stay tuned. And until then, remember, guys, stay scared.
Stay scared.
Bye. I just realized I got to stop everything.
Laters.